We spend thousands of hours staring at screens, and despite 50 years of innovation, every display still asks you to compromise. To build the perfect portable display, I have three goals: high pixel density, compatibility with legacy analog video inputs, audio quality has to be good, and I mean well above standard for the device size. And number four, do all these things in a package that looks stylish. Here's all the parts, and I'm going to show you how to do it so you can build your own. Hi, I'm Ryan, and I'm poorly attempting to build what might be the ultimate portable display by stealing the best ideas from half a century of display innovations and forcing them into one design. And if it works, it might look less like a DIY project and more like something you could actually buy off a store shelf. For design inspiration, I describe this as somewhere between the Amiga 1000 CRT and the Sony KB9 PT50. Together, these products define our vision, a display that prioritizes portability, pixel density, and of course, style. A swivel base is essential for a 10-inch LCD panel, otherwise viewing angles are measured not in degrees but in neck pane. This 2K resolution IPS panel is equipped with HDMI and VGA inputs, but it lacks backwards compatibility with media devices from the last 40 years. So legacy analog inputs like composite, S-video, and component is a must, and we'll figure that out on the way, I guess. Nostalgia boxes have been done before, and I'll make no mistake, that's the territory I'm in.
Okay, Jakey, about to make a big mistakey.
The noble attempts before me done by Salim Benbouzian and Press Any Key to Continue are excellent. I do have some notes, and I want to address a few areas of improvement. In both regards, I want to lay into some design for manufacturing strengths, also known as what the assembly experience is like. This means no Bondo, no sanding, no paint booth, no post-processing that's labor-intensive, and instead we'll leverage FDM print optimization. That means just using colored filaments and a shitload of thread-forming screws to put all the pieces together. Basically, I like to endure my suffering by building not just one of these, but a few, identify the pain points during assembly, address them, and repeat until a project reaches that upper 90% level of polish. FDM printers are the manufacturing method, so no mess or heavy post-processing of SLA printing, because I don't like it, and no huge waste in support structure for models not fully optimized for FDM printing. I'll invest in a disciplined design approach. This means divide the body into sections to leverage the strength of smart build plate orientation. Any rough surfaces can be hidden with extra panels printed directly on the build plate, and I'll even dabble into AMS territory to integrate panel labels a la PVM style. The largest of parts will leave maybe 4 millimeters of clearance on most 3D printers. All in, you'll need about 900 grams of filament and something like 29 hours of print time. A downside of leaning solely into filaments is color accuracy. I wanted computer beige, like this keyboard, but instead I got this creamy white with a poop stain of yellow, so you might see this monitor suddenly switch to a matte black shell solely from my internal disgust. It's no big deal, it does pair with the Dell Wise XP machine anyway as black, but we gotta just get over it.
Mistakey.
But I've gotten ahead of myself. This project development basically went into two directions, which resulted with two different model versions. The first started as a weekend session in CAD with the intent to use this one extra LCD and speaker pair from my parts bin. The further I dug into the parts bin, the more sidetracked this project became. Oh, what's this? Definitely a very useless standard definition TV tuner from 2007. What if I stuff this inside? Will I satiate the nostalgia feelings I long for? Should I put a Raspberry Pi inside as well? Was that even on my to-do list? This project is a good example of before you set out designing, you need to define the product. Exactly what it is and what it is not. I thought I could feel this out and as a result lost the design intent and direction. The monitor identity kept sticking in my mind, so the TV tuner might be too far off base. So to concentrate on the scope and rein in my design choices, this is the short list of what it is and what it is not. And that ends the design path of the first model that I'll call Mark 1. It is a monitor, but it falls short of handling any other analog input source, so I'm going to retire this design and start again. Well, after review, it's a sure thing I need to completely redraw my CAD, so this is a good opportunity to source a new screen anyway. My model is far from parametric, so a new screen size f***s everything up anyway. I need to redraw this with my new direction, and I'm gonna pick this better iPad IPS panel to start. It's a better price, higher resolution, and has full-size HDMI and some other goodies, including the golden aspect ratio of 4:3. To handle legacy analog input compatibility needs, I'm gonna go to an off-the-shelf solution beloved by all millennial gamers. I tried to fit the open source scan converter inside, but those chunky IOs on 75% of the PCB have got me stuck. The weird cable bends needed to route and adapters broke display reliability. The OSSC's unusually large footprint also robbed any usable space there is to use a rear IO panel. The next option is the RetroTink, but I'd rather not gut mine for parts. I actually use it. So to no one's surprise, there is a shameful clone of the RetroTink on AliExpress. This is evident of the failed attempt of a simple find and replace in the user manual. So let's just experiment with this. I still have the same problem. I don't have any room at the rear IO panel to stuff this scanline converter. But remember that Raspberry Pi idea that I had with really no direction for it? Well, I did that anyway, and I'm gonna borrow my mounting idea to stuff the scaler into the yoke section. While gutting this device, be sure to save the LED light pipes so we can tell what video mode and input selection is currently selected on this video scaler. I made a new bracket to hold the light pipes in place, and I've also added some light blocking geometry to stop the light bleeding. I do have to desolder the selection buttons and move them to the reverse side of the PCB, and with some integrated flexure buttons onto the back yoke, this can also save some real estate instead of rerouting buttons somewhere else. And since the yoke panel is a separate printed piece, I can use multi-material to embed button labels. Our new IPS screen paired with a scanline converter handles pretty much any video source from the last 4 decades. This IPS panel can support 2048 by 1536 resolution over HDMI all the way down to 1040p with legacy inputs. With video sorted, it's time to pay some attention to audio. The LCD driver board does include its own built-in amplifier that extracts audio from HDMI. The stereo speaker output terminals are here, and you can solder to them and add your own speakers. The only downside is the gain or volume control. It's buried in the LCD's on-screen display menus. It's also pretty coarse in volume adjustment, where you get loudest loud or off. My genius idea to move the display controls to the rear had me fumbling to adjust volume, and by accident I found the secret button sequence to set the on-screen display lock. This combination of blind volume controls, weird gain curves, and having a non-zero chance of accidentally locking the on-screen display breaks the user experience. I will keep the internal amp connected to these front-facing speakers just to use these parts out of my parts bin, and we'll call this the base model build experience. But I've noticed when watching movies, the full dynamic range suffers on small speakers, and human speech is a true displeasurable listening experience. So I have to upgrade to bigger speakers with better volume control along with it. Our LCD driver board fortunately has an audio out connection that mutes the built-in amp when in use. This is one of those added bonuses. You can use any line-in amplifier, say like a boombox for sound, but instead I'm going to add a second 5-watt amp, which is the PM8406. I made a 3.5mm audio connector on a tiny PCB to reroute this connection so we can get to it externally. If you want to use the auxiliary audio amp with the larger speakers now inside, just connect with a single audio cable. Yeah, it's a device that plugs into itself. Remember, I said a mid-90s level of polish and nothing more. The external amp gives quick and easy volume control and also sounds much better paired with larger speakers.
That the music was a little loud.
Are you afraid of it?
No, I just don't like techno.
You would if you had robot ears.
Audio and video is now sorted, but I need to simplify power regulation and distribution. I made this PCB to do just that. There's two 5-volt linear regulators to supply clean power to the audio amp and the other to the video scaler. This adjustable buck converter is not used, but it's available for further expansion like the Raspberry Pi in the retired model.
Virtual Racing.
This diagram illustrates power distributions and where things are going. This also highlights that I've put in an extra DC jack for external devices, akin to like old AV receivers that used to do this. So if you want to sit this monitor on top of a slim DVD player and have a perfectly portable movie media experience, you can do exactly that without any extra cables or power supplies. This DVD player only needs 12 volt. We just need to replace the stupid Sony proprietary power jack plug with a normal one, and we've got a desktop movie experience all off a single power supply and an assortment of cables that, honestly, it's just fun to plug things in, so here we are.
Hello, how'd you sleep last night? Fine, Speed Racer. What'd you do, valet your bed?
No, but I'll self-park it in your asshole. Come on, let's go to lunch.
Hey, you remember Laura, don't you?
Yes, I do, and she already has a cold sore. That's a surprise.
After 4 months of motivation, prototyping, and convincing myself this could be a real product, there was only one thing left to do: give it a name. This is the PixelVision AV-1000 Mk II, complete with a fake nameplate, spec sheet, brochure, and a premium box experience. The signature models are available in either black or gray. Coming soon or maybe never is computer beige when I find the right filament. A limited edition model, one of one, only available to the founder, is the Blockbuster theme, which honestly looks like that Hot Wheels computer, so I'm a little confused why I did this. And that TV tuner, well, it still haunts me. It's just too dumb not to be a feature. To quell the scope creep voices in my head, I overhauled the first version to add another platform electronics, and maybe someday it'll work its way in there and slightly be less than useless or just sunset into never happening. But really, the extra space means this is the ideal monitor for your system on a chip development board. There's room for about 1 to 3 Raspberry Pis of compute stuff, or maybe an internal battery if you want to go portable. My favorite uses are a distraction screen when working on small projects, a test monitor for your workbench, an auxiliary monitor for your PC, matching screens for your tiny desktop LAN party, or a cozy media setup the next time you share a meal at Chili's. Please check the video description for links to build resources. If you're attempting to build this, keep watching. A medium detailed assembly video is next.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, Leo, I'm loony, okay?
Why? 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 Oh.
So overall, I'm really happy with it. It has the functionality of a tiny PVM, but at a fraction of the cost. It's not nearly as rugged or iconic, but with the ability to mod it, repair, and improve, I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. There are some quirks to the operation. After all, when you put a bunch of AliExpress parts in a box, there's going to be some flaws. If you lower the internal amplifier using the on-screen display to 0 or mute it, the auxiliary audio out is also muted. There's really no icon to kind of indicate everything's muted, so it's hard to tell. The speakers, for their optimal performance, should be in enclosures with some kind of calculated volume based on their specs. I didn't do this, so there is room for better audio if each speaker is contained, but I'm not interested in tackling that. I still don't know what the on-screen display lock combo is. It was an accident when I locked it, and I think the unlock combo is enter and the right button. I don't know how to check this because I don't know how to accidentally lock it again. I did kind of change the inside of the swivel base. I wanted you to be able to adjust the tension from the bottom when it was attached. So I had to add this locking nut part that basically captures the nut, doesn't let it spin, and that lets you adjust the spring compression strength from the bottom. Some things that get a little annoying and are out of my control are when parts just change randomly. I'm using what I think is new old stock of this IPS screen, but the dimensions of the button panel, the one that controls the LCD's on-screen display, it randomly changes. I know these are done in batches, but I did probably 2 orders within 3 weeks of each other, and the PCB dimensions are different, so can't help that. As a portable physical media viewer, this screen is best paired with a Blu-ray player like this LG BP135. The video file playback compatibility is so broad, I ended up making a sticker to remind myself of what files work. Stick a plain USB 2.0 flash drive in the front, and this is really the most polished UI for the price and feature set. If you're looking for a player that isn't discontinued but has some similar features, check out the Sony, this model. These players are not cheap, but if they were, I would explore maybe a unit that doesn't read discs well anymore and remove the drive and mount this logic board inside as compared to the TV tuner. These multi-video format Blu-ray players are basically perfect for media playback compared to the cost of a single board computer with none of the headaches for setup drivers and config. And because I'm committed to the bit and the product experience, why not make a dust cover and carry case from some thematically appropriate fabric? And yes, I enjoyed some distraction viewing while sewing this project as well.